Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever looked in the mirror and asked yourself, am I truly happy? Not the kind of happiness that comes from applause, approval, or achievements, but the deep, soul-stirring happiness that makes your heart feel at peace. We live in a world that constantly tells us what we should be, what success looks like, what happiness feels like, what dreams are worth chasing. But I want to ask you, what does your soul want? So many of us spend years trying to fit into molds that were never meant for us. We sacrifice our passions to please society, silence our dreams to avoid judgment, and ignore the whispers of our souls because they don't align with what the world expects of us. But let me tell you something, you were not born to live a life of compromise. The greatest strength you will ever find is in being your authentic self. The world may not always understand you. People may doubt you, question your choices, or even tell you that your dreams are impossible. But I want you to remember this. Their doubts do not define you. Your happiness does. Happiness is not about achieving a perfect life. It's about embracing your imperfect journey. It's about choosing yourself when the world tells you otherwise. It's about dancing even when there's no music, painting your dreams in colors the world has never seen, and standing tall even when the storms try to break you. You see, adversity is not your enemy. It's your teacher. Every setback, every heartbreak, every failure carries a lesson. And that lesson is this: you are stronger than you think. Your wounds do not make you weak, they make you wise. Your scars do not make you broken, they make you beautiful. So my dear friends, I ask you today, what makes your soul happy? What ignites that fire inside you? What makes your heart race with excitement? Whatever that is, do it unapologetically, fearlessly, wholeheartedly. Authenticity is the foundation of a fulfilled and meaningful life. When you embrace your true self, you unlock a sense of freedom that no amount of external validation can provide. Yet, in a world filled with expectations, pressures, and societal norms, staying true to yourself can feel like an uphill battle. From a young age, we are taught to conform, to follow the rules, to fit in, to seek approval from others. We are told what success looks like, what happiness should feel like, and how we are supposed to navigate life. But the reality is that true fulfillment does not come from meeting others' expectations. It comes from honoring your own. Living for others might bring temporary comfort, but it will never bring lasting joy. When you shape your choices around what society wants rather than what your heart desires, you slowly lose pieces of yourself. You begin to live a life that looks good on the outside but feels empty on the inside. The weight of pretending, of suppressing your dreams, of being someone you are not becomes unbearable. And the worst part, no matter how much you try to please others, it will never be enough. Opinions will change, expectations will shift, and the approval you seek will always be conditional. Embracing your true self means letting go of the fear of judgment. It means accepting that not everyone will understand your choices, and that's okay. You were not born to fit into someone else's mold. You were born to create your own path. There will always be voices telling you what you should or shouldn't do, but the most important voice is the one inside you. When you listen to your inner voice, you begin to make decisions that align with your passions, values, and dreams. You start living a life that feels right rather than one that simply looks right. One of the biggest barriers to authenticity is fear. Fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of being different. But the truth is, every great person who has ever made an impact embraced their uniqueness. They refused to dim their light to make others comfortable. They dared to be different, even when it meant standing alone. The people who changed the world, who inspired generations, who leave a lasting impact, are not those who followed the crowd, but those who followed their hearts. Being your true self also means accepting your imperfections. We live in a world that constantly tells us to be more successful, more attractive, more accomplished. But real happiness comes from knowing that you are enough just as you are. Perfection is an illusion, and chasing it only leads to exhaustion and disappointment. The moment you accept yourself, flaws and all, is the moment you set yourself free. Instead of trying to become someone you're not, focus on becoming the best version of who you already are. When you embrace your true self, you attract people who appreciate and love you for who you are, not for who you pretend to be. You create deeper connections because your relationships are built on honesty rather than pretense. The right people, the ones who genuinely care about you, will support you in being yourself. And those who demand that you change to fit their expectations were never meant to walk your journey with you. Authenticity is also about honoring your dreams, even when they don't align with what others expect. If your heart pulls you towards something, there is a reason. Your passions are not random. They are the voice of your soul guiding you toward your purpose. Yet too often, people abandon their dreams out of fear. Fear that they are not good enough, that they will fail, that they will be judged. But what if, instead of asking, what if I fail, you asked, what if I succeed? What if, instead of fearing judgment, you embrace the idea that your dreams matter? Choosing authenticity requires courage. It requires unlearning years of conditioning, breaking free from limiting beliefs and trusting yourself. It is not always easy, but it is always worth it. Every time you choose to be yourself, you take a step closer to the life you were meant to live. Every time you follow your heart instead of external expectations, you reclaim your power. The journey to authenticity is not about changing who you are, but about becoming who you were always meant to be. It is about letting go of the masks, the doubts, and the need for approval. It is about stepping into your truth with confidence and owning your story. When you live authentically, you give others permission to do the same. You become a light for those still trapped by fear, showing them that true happiness lies in self-acceptance. Your life is yours to live, not anyone else's. No one else can define what happiness looks like for you. No one else can dictate the path you should take. Only you know what truly brings you joy. And when you choose to embrace your true self, you unlock a life of purpose, passion, and peace. Adversity is an inevitable part of life, but it is not meant to break you. It is meant to shape you, refine you, and push you toward growth. Every challenge, every hardship, and every obstacle carries within it the seeds of transformation. It is in the darkest moments that we discover the depths of our strength, the resilience of our spirit, and the boundless potential that lies within us. Struggles do not define us. How we respond to them does. When faced with adversity, it is easy to feel overwhelmed, defeated, or even lost. It is natural to question why certain hardships come our way, why life feels unfair, and why the path ahead seems so difficult. But in those moments, we must remind ourselves that challenges are not punishments, they are opportunities. They force us to dig deep, to find strength we never knew we had, and to rise above circumstances that once seemed impossible. Some of the greatest success stories, the most inspiring individuals, and the most powerful leaders have emerged from immense adversity. They did not succeed because their journey was easy. They succeeded because they refused to give up when everything seemed to be against them. They chose to see obstacles as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. They embraced their struggles, learned from them, and used them as fuel to move forward. The same is true for all of us. Our struggles are not the end of the road. They are the beginning of a new, stronger, and wiser version of ourselves. Pain and hardship have a way of revealing who we truly are. When everything is going well, we may not question our strength or test our resilience, but when life throws challenges our way, we are forced to confront our fears, push past our limits, and discover what we are truly capable of. Every difficulty we face has the potential to shape us into a more courageous, empathetic, and powerful person. It is through struggle that we build character, develop patience, and gain wisdom that cannot be learned in times of comfort. There are moments in life when adversity feels unbearable. When doors close, when dreams seem shattered, when everything we worked for seems to slip away. In those times, it is easy to fall into despair, to believe that nothing will ever change, and to feel like giving up. But history has shown that some of the greatest breakthroughs happen right after the hardest struggles. It is in those moments of despair that we must find the courage to keep going. It is in those moments of pain that we must remind ourselves that we are not alone, that we are capable, and that we are stronger than we think. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. Every failure is a lesson in disguise. Every struggle is a chapter in the story of our resilience. When we shift our perspective and see challenges as opportunities for growth, we unlock a power within us that is unbreakable. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we can ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" Instead of seeing adversity as an enemy, we can embrace it as a teacher. Strength is not about avoiding difficulties, it is about facing them head-on. It is about standing tall in the face of adversity and refusing to let circumstances dictate our future. Life may not always go as planned, but that does not mean we are defeated. It means we are being redirected towards something even greater. Sometimes, the hardest moments lead to the most beautiful transformation. The struggles we go through today will one day become the reason we inspire others, the reason we appreciate life more deeply, and the reason we rise with even greater strength. True strength is not found in never falling. It is found in rising every time we fall. It is found in the willingness to keep moving forward even when the road is uncertain. It is found in the decision to believe in ourselves when no one else does. The power to overcome adversity is already within us. It is not something we have to search for. It is something we must awaken. And once we do, no challenge will ever have the power to break us. It will only make us stronger. Passion is not just a fleeting emotion or a momentary spark of excitement. It is the voice of your soul calling you toward your true purpose. It is the deep, unshakable feeling that tells you what you were meant to do, what brings you joy, and what makes you feel truly alive. Passion is not logical, predictable, or always practical, but it is powerful. It is the force that drives people to create, to innovate, to push beyond limitations, and to achieve what once seemed impossible. It is the inner voice that whispers in the quiet moments, urging you to dream bigger, to take risks, and to step into the life you were meant to live. Many people ignore this voice, dismissing it as unrealistic, inconvenient, or too risky. They silence their own desires in favor of security, stability, or approval from others. They choose the path that is safe, the one that meets expectations, the one that guarantees a predictable outcome. But no matter how much they try to suppress it, passion does not fade away. It lingers in the background, waiting for them to listen. It resurfaces in moments of longing, in restless nights, in the feeling that something is missing. It is the dream they cannot forget, the idea that keeps coming back, the excitement they feel when doing something they love. Following passion requires courage because it often demands stepping into the unknown. It asks for faith in oneself, a willingness to embrace uncertainty, and the strength to keep going even when the road is difficult. Many people let fear hold them back. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being good enough. But passion does not promise an easy journey. It promises a meaningful one. The pursuit of passion is filled with obstacles, setbacks, and challenges, but those who dare to follow it find a sense of fulfillment that nothing else can provide. Passion is not about instant success or external validation. It is about the process, the journey, the feeling of being deeply connected to something that matters. It is about waking up every day with a sense of purpose, knowing that what you are doing aligns with who you truly are. It is about the joy that comes from creating, from expressing, from contributing to something greater than yourself. People who follow their passion do not do it because it is easy. They do it because it is who they are. The world often tells us to be practical, to choose paths that are stable and predictable. But true fulfillment does not come from playing it safe. It comes from daring to pursue what sets our souls on fire. Some of the most extraordinary achievements in history were made by people who listened to the voice of their passion, even when the world told them they were dreaming too big. They were the artists, the inventors, the leaders, the visionaries who refused to settle for a life that did not align with their true calling. Passion is deeply personal. It is not about following trends or doing what others expect. It is about discovering what truly makes you happy. It is about recognizing what excites you, what energizes you, what you could do for hours without feeling exhausted. It is about paying attention to the things that light up your soul and having the courage to pursue them no matter how unconventional they may seem. When you follow your passion, you step into a version of yourself that is powerful, confident, and unstoppable. There will be challenges, moments of doubt, and times when the path ahead seems unclear. But passion has a way of guiding you through uncertainty. It fuels perseverance, turns setbacks into lessons, and transforms failures into stepping stones. It reminds you why you started in the first place and gives you the strength to keep going, even when the odds are against you. Those who follow their passion may face difficulties, but they also experience a deep sense of satisfaction that those who ignore their inner voice never will. Listening to your passion is an act of self-trust. It is believing that you were given your dreams for a reason, that your unique talents and desires are meant to be pursued. It is knowing that a life spent doing what you love is a life well lived. The voice of passion will always be there, waiting for you to listen, waiting for you to take that first step. And when you do, you will realize that the greatest gift you can give yourself is the freedom to follow where your heart leads. Happiness is something that many people spend their entire lives chasing, believing that it exists somewhere outside of themselves. They tie their sense of fulfillment to material success, external validation, and the approval of others. They believe that if they achieve a certain status, earn a specific amount of money, or receive recognition from society, they will finally be happy. But happiness does not come from wealth, achievements, or the opinions of others. It is something that must be cultivated from within. No amount of success will ever be enough if you are not already at peace with yourself. No external validation will ever make you feel truly fulfilled if you do not first find joy in who you are. Many people spend their lives running from one goal to the next, thinking that the next milestone will bring them the happiness they seek. They believe that once they get the promotion, buy the dream house, or reach a certain level of fame, they will finally feel complete. But time and time again, people who have achieved these things still find themselves feeling empty. The temporary excitement fades, and they realize that they are still searching for something more. That is because true happiness is not about what you have, it is about who you are. It is about the way you see yourself, the way you embrace your life, and the way you find contentment in the present moment. One of the biggest misconceptions about happiness is that it depends on circumstances. People often think that their happiness is determined by their environment, their relationships, or their career. But happiness is an internal state of being. It is something that comes from self-acceptance, gratitude, and the ability to find joy in simple moments. It is not about waiting for the perfect situation or hoping that external factors will change. It is about realizing that you already have everything you need within you to be happy. Many people fall into the trap of seeking validation from others. They want to be liked, admired, and approved of. They base their self-worth on how others perceive them, believing that if they receive enough praise or attention, they will feel valuable. But the truth is, external validation is never enough. The opinions of others are constantly changing, and no amount of approval will ever replace true self-acceptance. If your happiness is dependent on how others see you, you will always be at the mercy of their judgments. But when you learn to validate yourself, when you recognize your own worth without needing anyone else to confirm it, you step into a state of true happiness. Material success is another illusion that many people chase in the pursuit of happiness. Society teaches us that wealth, luxury, and status are the keys to a fulfilling life. While financial stability is important, money alone does not bring lasting happiness. There are countless examples of people who have everything the world considers valuable: fame, fortune, influence, yet they still feel lost and unfulfilled. That is because true happiness does not come from possessions, it comes from purpose, meaning, and inner peace. It comes from living in alignment with your values, doing what you love, and being surrounded by people who uplift and support you. Happiness is also about the way we perceive life. Two people can go through the same situation, yet one may feel miserable while the other finds joy. The difference is perspective. Happiness is not about having a perfect life. It is about having the ability to appreciate the imperfect one you have. It is about focusing on what is good rather than what is lacking. It is about finding beauty in ordinary moments, celebrating small victories, and recognizing that every day is a gift. One of the most important aspects of happiness is self-love. If you do not love yourself, if you are constantly criticizing, doubting, or comparing yourself to others, no amount of success or validation will ever be enough. Happiness begins when you accept yourself fully, the strengths, the flaws, the imperfections. It is about recognizing that you are worthy of love and joy just as you are. When you cultivate self-love, you no longer rely on external factors to feel whole. You create happiness from within, and that kind of happiness is unshakable. True happiness is a choice. It is not something that happens by chance or something that is given to a select few. It is something that you create through your thoughts, your actions, and your mindset. It is about letting go of the need for external validation and embracing the life you have. It is about understanding that happiness is not a destination, it is a way of being. And when you realize that, you free yourself from the endless chase for something outside of yourself. You find peace in the present moment, joy in the simplest things, and a deep, lasting happiness that no external factor can ever take away. Life is a fleeting journey, one that moves forward without pause, and the greatest tragedy is looking back with regret. So many people spend their lives hesitating, overthinking, and holding themselves back from the things they truly want. They fear failure, judgment, and uncertainty, and in doing so, they let opportunities slip away. But time does not wait. The days, months, and years pass, and before they realize it, they are left with a heart full of what-ifs. What if they had taken that risk? What if they had followed their passion? What if they had lived fearlessly, without waiting for the perfect moment? The truth is, the only thing worse than failure is regret. Regret is not just about missed opportunities. It is about the realization that we had the power to choose differently but didn't. It is about looking back and knowing that fear held us back from something we deeply wanted. It is the weight of knowing that we let doubt control our decisions instead of trusting our instincts and taking a leap of faith. Life is not meant to be lived in hesitation. It is meant to be embraced with courage, with boldness, with an open heart ready to experience all that it has to offer. Taking risks is an essential part of living without regrets. Every great achievement, every life-changing moment, and every personal breakthrough comes from stepping outside of what is comfortable and known. Playing it safe may protect us from failure, but it also keeps us from growth, excitement, and fulfillment. The greatest stories are not written by those who stayed in their comfort zones. They are written by those who dared to dream, to try, and to take a chance, even when success was uncertain. Every risk may not lead to immediate success, but even failures teach invaluable lessons. And in the end, the regret of not trying is always greater than the pain of failing. Chasing dreams is another fundamental part of a life without regrets. Too often, people silence their desires because they seem too big, too unrealistic, or too difficult. They convince themselves that they are not capable, that they do not have enough time, that it is too late. But dreams do not fade away just because they are ignored. They stay in the background, whispering, waiting for the day they are finally pursued. And when people deny their dreams, they deny themselves the chance to live a life of purpose and joy. A dream delayed is not a dream denied, but the longer one waits, the harder it becomes to take that first step. Many people fear judgment from others, and this fear keeps them from living fully. They worry about what people will say, how they will be perceived, and whether they will be accepted. But the reality is, no matter what path is chosen, there will always be opinions, criticism, and doubts from others. The only opinion that truly matters is the one we hold about ourselves. If we live according to what others expect, we risk losing ourselves in the process. True happiness comes from being authentic, from doing what feels right in our hearts, even if it goes against the norm. At the end of the day, no one else has to live with our choices. Only we do. And when we choose authenticity over approval, we free ourselves from the burden of regret. Life is not meant to be lived with constant hesitation and second guessing. It is meant to be experienced with passion, with spontaneity, and with a willingness to embrace the unknown. There is no guarantee of tomorrow, no certainty that opportunities will come again. The only moment we truly have is the present, and what we do with it determines the life we will look back on. Will it be a life filled with adventure, growth, and fulfillment, or will it be a life of missed chances and untapped potential? The people who live without regrets are not the ones who have never made mistakes. They are the ones who have embraced every experience as part of their journey. They are the ones who understand that failures, heartbreaks, and wrong turns are not reasons to stop. They are reasons to keep moving forward with even more wisdom and strength. They are the ones who refuse to let fear dictate their path and instead choose to follow what makes their soul happy. Every single person deserves to live a life that excites them, a life that feels meaningful, a life that is filled with joy and purpose. No one was born to simply exist. We were all born to thrive, to explore, to love deeply, and to leave our own unique mark on the world. The time to live is now. The time to take the leap is now. The time to choose a life without regrets is now. Because at the end of this journey, when you look back, the only thing that will truly matter is whether you lived a life that made your soul smile. Thank you.